Today in the episode, special, insane solutions to bonkers challenges. Voice of the Wasteland, where we answer your questions and find something cool on the exhibition. And we begin with Workshop, a gun for people that like sharp, round objects. Glory to Odegon, the fiery leader of relentless fire starters. Because it's thanks to her that we have so many weird and special contraptions to use on the battlefield. Take the weapon that we're going to discuss today, for example, the Ripper Disc Launcher. It spews out saws and allows you to create kinetic sculptures with saws. Aren't they beautiful? Let's start with the most important thing. All in all, this disc launcher can be a pretty effective weapon. It has several key advantages. It's pretty durable enough to survive at least a few big hits. It has excellent aiming speed. Even the fastest enemies won't be able to escape your wrath, especially if you have a steady hand and good aim. And furthermore, your saws travel surprisingly fast. At the same time, despite its good damage output and decent durability, the Ripper requires a bit of setting up in order to unlock its full potential. A few well-placed reload boosters, or the new cabin, go a long way, and it's important to use movement parts that'll make it easy for you to use the Ripper. In other words, it's one of those cases where it makes perfect sense to build your car around the gun. The Ripper's pretty big, almost on par with the Mastodon, so there's no way you can squeeze it in some comfy spot between the cab and a wheel, and its limited firing angles mean that you're probably going to cover it with armor in a very specific way, by placing some sturdy parts on either side of the weapon. At the same time, with big size come big risks. The Ripper is a very easy target. Furthermore, the unique ability of the gun is not that easy to use in actual combat. Remember saws sticking out of things? That's not just a visual effect. In theory, they can deal quite a lot of additional damage if there's an enemy that's reckless enough to decide to go right through them. That's right, Jacob, you gotta go right through them at max speed. Good job! Unfortunately, survivors of the valley are usually much more capable and clever than Jacob, and more importantly, certainly not eager to impale themselves on your saws. That's not to say, though, that the Ripper's perk is without its uses. In some cases, saws make for excellent roadblocks. Dog builds simply love running into them. And it's basically a solemn duty of every survivor to make owners of dog builds happy, right? Another important thing is that thanks to its nice damage output and decent accuracy, the disc launcher is really good at destroying specific parts. Aim at key modules and structure parts, disintegrate enemy weapons and wheels, and maybe Odegon will reward you with a smile. Maybe. And now, a short commercial break.
Your radar mates say that your looks lack the special oomph? Come to the best barbershop in the valley, the stash of the custodian. No guarantee that you'll ever make it to official portraits.
Remember the last time we asked you to suggest ideas for the Mad Lab? First, a big thank you to all survivors who did that. It's great to know that the people that watch the show are at least as unhinged as we are. Second, as it turns out, most of the challenges that you suggested have already been solved by other engineers of the Wastes. As you're probably aware of by now, proving that we have ridiculously talented players is one of our favorite things to do. So, here we go. To all survivors out there that like their weapons well protected, this one's for you. Fairwoe Meta by TNT Dragonslayer. Do you see any guns? Exactly. But they're there, and we're not talking about some shotguns covered by layers and layers of armor. These are proper machine guns, and they're still capable of delivering a world of hurt, even from this unusual position. We might never know what made the creator of this build mount their guns in this fashion, but we're very glad they did. First you surprise your opponent, and then you win. Feels great. The next engineer, known as Segugio, arrived at the conclusion that size isn't everything, and made something that very well might be the smallest tank of the Wastes. It's small, but very fast. It might not be very sturdy, but when you're this tiny, the whole car is smaller than some cabins, for God's sake. It's possible to survive even under heavy fire by moving in crazy, erratic patterns. Have fun trying to hit that. But that's not all. Take a look at its gun. It's the most powerful fixed cannon in the game. Yep, that's right, this vehicle is the smallest tank, armed with the biggest gun. Do you like shotguns as much as we do? Well, duh. After all, no demon invasion can be complete without one. But really big shotguns is where it's really at. And a survivor called Harmless Pot certainly made a really big one. The name is Shorty. And yeah, it's a shotgun all right. Obviously, that's not a weapon you'd be able to sneak into a lunatic den, and detectors made by those arrogant eggheads will probably start freaking out when you're still miles away from their base. But it's a small price to pay for an opportunity to bring a shotgun of this size to a chainsaw fight. But the craziest engineer of the bunch is definitely Paulina, who made a functional battle car out of just 7 parts. Is this even legal? Well, we guess so. To appease the power score god, Paulina sacrificed basically everything. The whole vehicle is just 3 frames, a cabin, an engine, a single hover, and a single pulse accelerator. What can we say? If you see this vehicle in battle, be very afraid. Its driver has nothing to lose, quite literally. Want more? Suggest even more weird challenges in the comments below. And yeah, we're gonna show you our own designs as well. Is there a way to make this car even smaller? Maybe we'll just make Jacob carry it around. Yeah, sounds reasonable. And now it's time for your questions. Hellfish2309 says,
Overhaul the bot AI. Freaking things are jagging off at spawn, dry humping walls, or incinerating themselves.
working as intended. Well, clearly not. You're right, there are some issues with the bot AI that need to be fixed, and they're on our to-do list. Here's a question submitted by a survivor known as Wyvern Hero 99. Hey, are you guys ever gonna make an epic version of the Carapace? It'd be nice if there was an actual tank cabin for, tank builds. Hey man, as of now, there are no plans to do that. If that changes, you guys will be the first to know. Nordic Drakey says,
Duo vehicles are neat, but it makes me wonder, are there any builds designed to accommodate 3, 4, or even an infinite number of co-survivors?
Yeah, quite a lot of them in fact, especially for 3 players. Check out this build by I'm Phantom, or the Fusion Monster by Maxi414. There are some crazy options for 4 players as well. Blessed be the treasures of the exhibition. The last message for today was DJ Count Van Pony.
You guys out in the wastes are crazy, but in a good way. I saw things in the wastes that I've never seen before. Talk about nightmare fuel. For your enemies, of course. Keep on keeping on and blowing stuff up.
Thanks for your kind words, Survivor, but the wastes are only as crazy as all the brilliant people that reside there. And you guys are insane. Love your work to bits. Also, your name is dope. And now the traditional finale, the bit where we go to the exhibition hoping to find a new nice ride or a cool range. And succeed. G-Roller Da, made by a veteran engineer known as R-Robot 3K. What can we say? This war machine was clearly designed by people that prefer to solve their problems with overwhelming force. It's heavy, it's powerful, and it's very, very pretty. At least in our eyes. We love it. Thank you. And that's it for today. Tell us what you think in the comments below, ask us questions, and after we somehow get these saws out of Jacob's car, we'll return with some new crazy content in a couple of weeks. If you like what we're doing, consider subscribing, leave a like, and good luck.